There are moments that make you a fan of martial arts. If you are not, then these moments in different martial arts will make you one.
There's a right hand connecting. Oh, big look. Down goes Romero. No, it's on the chin. There's the tap.
These historical monuments define the sport and create milestones that will never be repeated for the next century. You see, when high-level skill meets fame, rivalry and big personalities, you get the best of showdowns. From MMA to Judo to every martial art, all have had a match that will forever be talked about. Starting with the biggest martial art, boxing. There is no better match to show the greatness of this sport than the biggest and most stylistic match ever. A match between a knockout specialist and a master tactician. The Rumble in the Jungle.
I hit him so hard one time, right about the neck, and I heard him say, "Ugh," and I've never forgotten that. He was trying to win a boxing match. I was trying to kill that guy.
As it was called, was a one-time special fight between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman.
Archie Moore was cruising at 32. Walcott won his title at 37. I'm great like them, or greater. And it's the fist that controls the brains, and my brains are so wise.
Both were formidable fighters in their own right, but Ali was a 4-1 underdog. You won't blame the bookmakers. Ali was an aging legend and was pitted against the young knockout undefeated champion, Foreman. But Muhammad Ali wasn't about to lose his chance to reclaim his belts. The first round was a shocker to Foreman as Ali started guns blazing. He made use of his right-hand lead punch to disorient the champion's aggressive tactic, but Foreman began to catch up. Making the ring smaller for Ali to move. In the next round, Tactic 2 was set in motion. The former champion made use of a strategy, now known as rope-a-dope, to tire Foreman. Ali would lean on the rope and cover up as Foreman rained punches to the body and arms of Ali. By the 5th round, Foreman was growing increasingly tired, and in the 8th round, a 5-punch combination sealed the deal. Muhammad Ali had just landed the young lion his first ever defeat and claimed his belt, tripped from him.
Just before the fight, I'm looking at him. I said, "You are in trouble tonight. You are fighting the greatest fight of all times."
This bout had about 60,000 people in attendance and an estimated 50 million pay-per-view viewers. It also grossed over $100 million in revenue, which is more than $600 million in this era. Although this moment didn't gather a lot of crowds, it is a bout that will forever be talked about in the world of wrestling. This was a bout between the most dominant champion in Greco-Roman history and a dairy farmer. Over the past 13 years of competition, Alexander Karelin hasn't lost a match.
Alexander Karelin, 12 world medals, 3-time Olympic champion, 9 times.
Not even once. He was so dominant that he had only one loss in 888 matches, and no one was able to score a point on him for 7 years. The Russian Bear also won 12 consecutive European championships, 9 consecutive world championships, and 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals. Compared to the pedigree of Roland Gardner, it was supposed to be an easy win for Karelin. That would change in the first of the 2 3-minute rounds when Karelin attempted his signature move, the reverse lift, and was unable to.
186-pound Roland Gardner off the mat.
He'll try the lift, and if Gardner turns that hip down too much,
Gardner, who was extremely physically imposing, had a large frame that made it impossible for Karelin to lift him from the ground, and by the end of the first round, the scores were even. Then, in the second round, a recent rule change cost Karelin a point.
Of the second period, if nobody has scored, and they're going to give it to Gardner. Gardner is going to get the point, the caution against Karelin.
Karelin found himself on the losing side for the first time in 7 years. Gardner, on the other hand, held strong to his advantage, even when Karelin once again attempted the reverse lift.
Trying to lift. trying to get that reverse lift that has been his key move throughout his career, but he's unable to do it.
The Wyoming farmer was as strong as a bull until the bell rang. Rulon Gardner went on to achieve something that will remain in history books, becoming the only American to win both world and Olympic titles in Greco-Roman wrestling. Carolyn called a timeout and rode off to the sunset.
Был по поддержке, вот, и я проиграл. Я не научился это комментировать.
In the case of Roger Gracie, he didn't like that idea. BJJ, it's one thing to be at the top, it's another to remain at the top. Roger Gracie left the sport of BJJ, achieving everything you could think of. Winning 10 gold medals in the IBJJF World Championship and a triple gold medal in the ADCC. When he retired, a 22-year-old Marcus Almeida was the next superstar in BJJ. Having accumulated 6 gold medals in both the IBJJF gi and no-gi World Championships in just 3 years, Buchecha was now a worthy opponent to make Roger Gracie return to BJJ. In a 20-minute bout, Buchecha was able to pull a double leg takedown to the surprise of Gracie.
Buchecha, beautiful shot in the double leg. Very nice.
I just watched these guys on the edge of the mat.
And stood over him so as not to get sucked into Gracie's famous closed guard. Both champions were able to stop each other's attack until there was less than a minute to go before something happened. Roger was almost submitted, but was able to fight through and escaped it. Even to this day, we have no idea how Roger fought through. That was one of the best escapes ever in BJJ. The crowd went crazy. Although they fought again, it was incomparable to the masterpiece on display in the first match. But if you go to the MMA world, the best moments, hands down, were Khabib and Conor McGregor's fight. For a long time, this has been the biggest MMA fight ever. Talk about controversy, popularity, or style of fighting. This tops the chart. This was a typical striker versus grappler match, and whose style is the best. With personal beef and controversies taking center stage, fans were excited about the outcome.
I came back for the love of this, to come and shut this man up. A little rat, a little weasel.
An undefeated Russian Sambo champion against a 2-time UFC champion who is known for his striking. Khabib was able to secure the first 2 rounds, but lost the 3rd round. This was the first time he had ever lost a round in MMA. By the 4th round, he hit the nail on the coffin by submitting the Notorious via neck crank.
There's the choke. He's got it. It's under the neck. There it is. Nope, it's on the chin.
There's the tap. Still undisputed.
The bout ended with no belt for the Eagle. Instead, half of his purse was withheld, and a $500,000 fine was enforced because of a brawl that took place after the fight. Judo. For Judo, one of the most iconic moments was one of mutual respect between the 2 competitors. This was the 1985 Olympic final between Yasuhiro Yamashita and Mohammad Rashwan. Yasuhiro Yamashita was a dominant force in Judo during the late 1970s and early 1980s, and, till now, holds the most consecutive wins in Judo of 203 wins in all competitions. Getting a win over him would have been mind-blowing. In his first and only appearance at the Olympics, Yasuhiro tore a right calf muscle.
しまったと思いました。勝負の世界でね、じゃあ自分の弱点をさらけ出すこと負けを意味します。
In the quarterfinal match against Arthur Schnabel. This placed the 4-time world champion at a huge disadvantage, heading to the semi-final, but he was able to scale through as well. Then, when he got to the final against Mohammad Rashwan, the Egyptian took the honorary path.
Legendary figure of Japan. He is in against a man who weighs 309 pounds, and Rashwan is down.
He didn't aim for Yamashita's right leg. That way, the match was fair, and Yamashita won gold. What is your all-time favorite match? Type it out in the comment section. Also, like and subscribe to the channel for the best of combat sports content. We'll see you in the next one.